The drug decriminalization wave that swept across America's most liberal cities has fallen short of its promises. Sold by politicians and liberal activists as a way to combat substance use disorder by treating it as a disease rather than a crime. In cities across the country, moves to decriminalize, whether through law or selective prosecution, have brought severe blight, including increase in homelessness, crime, and drug overdose deaths, leading some to rethink their political decisions. Oregon is the country's most prominent laboratory for discerning the effects of drug decriminalization.
Lawlessness, as you said, overdoses, and a terrible increase in addiction, coupled with a lack of treatment beds like rehabs and detoxes.
Portland trial attorney Kristen Olson told the Washington Examiner about the consequences of Measure 110, which made Oregon the only state in the nation to decriminalize hard drugs like heroin, methamphetamine, and fentanyl.
The free-for-all that Measure 110 has created in combination with the defund the police culture has really led to an inability to keep up with what's going on around the city, which really is lawlessness.
Olson originally voted for Measure 110, but the consequences for Portland and Oregon have been dramatic.
Certainly a drug tourism operation that's happening with an influx of people into Portland. I think there's no doubt that they are. If you talk to the police, they will tell you that a lot of these people are not from here.
Since then, Oregon has become the state with the second highest rate of substance use disorder and sees more than 2 deaths per day from opioid overdoses.
And continue to use drugs into oblivion and then be Narcan when you stop breathing.
According to preliminary Centers of Disease Control and Prevention estimates, Oregon's overdose deaths increased 6.76% from December 2021 to December 2022. The national increase was 0.5%. Between 2020 and 2022, Oregon saw one of the country's largest spikes in homelessness, growing 23%. This compared to the national average, which is less than 1%.
As I was walking back to my car last night, I stepped over 3 people. Another person followed me to my car. Another person was taking a pee in my parking lot in the corner. And there are needles and foil regularly on the sidewalk. And this is just in the core of downtown. It's supposed to be, it's right by the library. It's supposed to be a place you could take your children, but nobody's taking their children there.
The increase is not just due to Oregonians becoming homeless through drug use, but Oregon's drug laws attract out-of-state homeless people who seek access to drugs, housing, clothing, and other harm reduction items available to them under Measure 110.
We've got bodies lying in the streets. I've got a bridal store in my building and a makeup store. No one is going to step over somebody doing fentanyl to buy a $5,000 bridal gown. That's not going to happen.
According to recent polling, 63% of Oregonians support reinstating criminal punishment for drugs, while also wanting to fund treatment programs.